Welcome to a Crypto by Nature news bit. Hope all is well out there in crypto land. Hope everybody's investing wisely. Today in the news, John McAfee. John McAfee is in the crypto news very, very often. Unless you guys have been hiding under a rock or you're very new to crypto, you don't know that John McAfee's been making bold predictions, very bullish Bitcoin predictions in the past. Today, John McAfee's in the news again. What's different about today is that we have the head of IBM blockchain, Jesse Lund, the director of PayPal, Wences Caceres. They're also confirming what John McAfee said in the way that they're saying also $1 million Bitcoin prediction. Now that is crazy. Now John McAfee, everybody thought he was crazy when he first said that. Now you have two other prominent people in the space also agreeing. I believe their time predictions are way different, but it's interesting that that's even a thing. So today, let's look over the news on today's Gazette, written by Evelyn Murphy. PayPal director, IBM blockchain, joined McAfee in Bitcoin $1 million price prediction. Also, Tim Draper, the founder of Draper University, had earlier predicted a $250,000 Bitcoin price by 2022, which most investors and observers in the crypto space tagged as outrageous. Now, Jesse Lund, head of IBM blockchain, and Wences Caceres, a director at PayPal who doubles as Zappo CEO, have opened the topic once again in the crypto space. While the topic has been trending with mixed feelings among cryptocurrency enthusiasts, Lund in his recent interview argued that Bitcoin would surge up to $1 million in price at no distant time. Notice he didn't give an exact prediction of when, but he says in no distant time. That could mean anything, but at least he's at $1 million in price, which is also the same exact thing that John McAfee predicted. Now, in his word, as revealed in a detailed essay published on Kana by Katana in March, Wences opined that Bitcoin may rise above $1 million in the next 7 to 10 years. So Wences, the director of PayPal, he's predicted in the next 7 to 10 years. So we're looking at late 2020s, 2030. He's predicting Bitcoin at $1 million. Jesse Lund, head of IBM blockchain, he did not give an exact time, but still interesting in that they predicted $1 million all the same. Now, John McAfee, I want to get into some tweets he made, one in 2017 and another one a few days ago. And but before that, let's go into an interview that John McAfee had on RT News in August of 2017. Now, let's just break down this interview a little bit, guys. I just want to get into this. The first question he was asked is Bitcoin a bubble? Now, he goes into different things about his opinion on that. Now, my opinion is that, a bubble is made up of artificial nonsense. That's why it deflates and it gets popped. In my opinion, Bitcoin can be artificially inflated through whales. We've seen that. It can, be FOMO'd up, which is also, regular in any market. But it can be artificially manipulated. But intrinsically, Bitcoin it is not really a bubble, guys, because it is worth every bit of value that it has. Like, in other words, if there were no whales, if we could magically just snap our fingers and there'd just be no whales all of a sudden, Bitcoin would be at a very high price just based on its own merit. That's what I mean by that. Now, let's see what John McAfee says in his opinion on is Bitcoin a bubble.
Why do you think the word bubble cannot be applied to Bitcoin?
Well, first and foremost, Bitcoin is not a fiat currency. It costs over $1,000 to create a Bitcoin today in electricity and computing costs. Second, the value of Bitcoin is linked to the number of users and the number of transactions. It is not a speculative investment, even though it is being used as such by many people. As the Bitcoin network grows, the value of Bitcoin grows. As people move into Bitcoin for payments and receipts, they stop using US dollars, euros, Chinese yuan, which in the long term devalues these currencies. So what you're seeing is more of a currency devaluation than a bubble in Bitcoin. As more people use it, it has more intrinsic value. And again, the cost of producing a Bitcoin increases with the value of the Bitcoin. So this is not something that we're pulling out of thin air. This is something that's created with massive amounts of electricity and computing power.
Very, very interesting, guys. And the thing about John McAfee is he says these crazy things. He lives crazy. For instance, he's on a boat in Bahamas right now with his wife, Janice. They're literally running from tax evasion from the U.S., and he's going for president. So John McAfee lives by his own rules. He's one of those guys. But when you listen to what he says, there is a lot of logic in what he says. Let's get into the next question here. She asked him about the stability of Bitcoin with all the fluctuations that it has, the up and down, and how the market is not stable. And let's see what he says about that.
Well, someone who disagrees with you on the term of bubble when it comes to Bitcoin is Mark Cuban. Back in June, he tweeted, "I think it's a bubble. I just don't know when or how much it corrects." When everyone is bragging about how easy they're making money, that equals a bubble. Now, when he tweeted that, Bitcoin dipped in price. How can one person's random Twitter thread have that effect on the price? And what does it say about Bitcoin stability?
Well, it says nothing about Bitcoin stability. After it dropped $500, it's now at 44. So these temporary fluctuations are meaningless, created by speculators, people who do not understand the fundamental technology of the blockchain. Those who do know that in the long term, these fluctuations will make no difference. The more people who use Bitcoin, the more valuable it will become. This is the only metric we can use.
Very, very interesting answer, guys, on that. And he's going towards, kind of what I just said. It can be manipulated there. It can be artificially manipulated and brought up and down by these whales and so on and so forth. Also by, government and bankers. They don't really have too much of an interest of adoption. That's why adoption is so slow. So you have lots of oppositions. And so these things have an effect on the market, guys. But, with Bitcoin, I believe that the value is so great. It's intrinsically going to be in every part of society. I mean, for Christ's sake, I believe a digital blender in 5 years backed by blockchain is not impossible. Now, in the next part of the video, she asked him about blockchain and its takeover on the financial system. Now, that's a very interesting question because blockchain, as we know, guys, it's not 2015 anymore. It's way more than just a cryptocurrency. It's way more than just a way to send and transfer money more effectively. Blockchain can be used in anything and everything, and it'll be in all parts of society, and he gets into a little bit on that. Now, let's hear what he says.
Now, Bitcoin and blockchain go hand in hand, but blockchain's ability to track financial transactions in a way that is incorruptible, it gives it infinite amount of uses outside of the original purpose of using it for Bitcoin. Do you see blockchains overtaking certain aspects of the financial system as we know it now?
It will take over all aspects. People think that Bitcoin or the blockchain is owned by someone, by a company or by a consortium. No, this is strictly a mathematical formula that nobody owns, that we are all participating in. And we use the blockchain for everything from fixing supply chain problems in corporations to verifying the authenticity of the sender and receiver in a financial transaction. It is the most powerful technology that the world has seen, I believe, since the invention of agriculture.
Very, very bold predictions on John McAfee since the invention of agriculture. And you know what, guys? I do think he's not so off on that. We have yet to see how Bitcoin, how blockchain in itself will affect society in the future, but I believe it will have a great effect for the positive. Now, in the next part of the video, he makes his first bold prediction about Bitcoin by 2020. Now, this video was shot in August of 2017, and this is why I wanted you to go into this video, and I wanted to show it to you guys because we will get into some more of his tweets as we go along. We'll have also one from a couple days ago. So let's see what he thinks on the Bitcoin prediction, and this is the first one that made people go crazy and the buzz, and also gave him a lot of haters. Let's see what his prediction is by 2020.
Now, John, we've showed our viewers Bitcoin's rise just in the past month, and we can show it to them again if it's up there. But on July 17th, 1 month ago, you tweeted that Bitcoin's low of 1,800 yesterday simply could not be maintained. In the long term, Bitcoin moves above 500,000 within 3 years. Bet, you ask? So I ask you, John, do you stand by your statement?
Well, keep in mind, as Bitcoin grows and grows in value, other currencies, national currencies, are going to decline. So the advantage to using Bitcoin, the advantages are huge. If I do a wire transfer, it'll take me 24 hours. If I do a Bitcoin transfer, it takes me 30 seconds. It is instantaneous. I know people who do not use any other currency now other than Bitcoin. They buy their houses, their cars, everything using Bitcoin by connecting to other users who sell the things that they need. As more and more people use this, what will happen to national currencies? They will obviously devalue. They have to. So that 500,000 includes a massive devaluation in the US dollar, which absolutely has to come if Bitcoin continues to grow at its current rate.
Very interesting, guys. So that's John McAfee's first bold prediction about Bitcoin. And why 2020? He's alluding to that May 2020 halving, what I said earlier in the video, where half the Bitcoin will be made per day as compared to right now. So in after May 2020, Bitcoin will be halved. So he's alluding to 2020 being a very, very, very big part of Bitcoin rising up. Also, the cap on Bitcoin at 21 million coins, and every year it gets less and less, more are mined. So, and he's also banking on the initial fiat system of dollars and cents. He's initially banking on that going out of existence and deflating, so that as Bitcoin comes up. But I think, guys, we're a little bit away from that right now, because we're not even near worldwide adoption on something like that. When I think we get close to worldwide adoption, you will see the dollar phase out. And for instance, if you're in the US, you'll see the dollar phase out and crypto phase up, probably Bitcoin. So here's the tweet on today's Gazette. Let's see. This tweet was in November of 2017. That video was shot in August of 2017. Let's read. John McAfee says, when I predicted Bitcoin at 500,000 by the end of 2020, it used a model that predicted 5,000 by the end of 2017. Bitcoin has accelerated much faster than my model assumptions. I now predict Bitcoin at $1 million by the end of 2020. I will eat my D if wrong. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Now, whether or not he's serious, we don't know, but that's what he said in 2017. Now, let's go to a tweet on newsbtc.com and let's see what he said a couple days ago, April 15th of 2019, a couple years later. Come on, people, it's time to brush up on your basic math skills and run up some effing numbers. It is mathematically impossible for Bitcoin to be less than 1 million by the end of 2020. Bitcoin is not an effing stock. You can't apply stock paradigms or formulas and expect answers. Which I know what he's saying by that. There's a lot of different stock paradigms that we have been waiting to happen. For instance, Bitcoin going down to 2,000 or negative sub 2,000. There was a big thing on that, and instead it went up. So I do see what he's saying on that, guys. As far as the mathematics, it's just about the halving that's happening in May and the 21 million coins. It's a finite number of Bitcoin that can be made. So he's basing, I guess, his math on that. But what's really, really interesting is now you have the head of IBM blockchain, Jesse Lund, Wences Caceres, director of PayPal, also saying $1 million Bitcoin is possible. So what do you guys think? Comment down below. This is Crypto by Nature Newsbit. John McAfee, he's entertaining, guys. I do hope he's right. If he's right, a lot of us are going to be rich. Comment down below. Let's get some comments going, and like and subscribe, guys. For the next video, I will try to do as many news bits as possible. I don't know if I'll do one per day, but we'll see how it goes. All right, Crypto by Nature, I'm out.